Spiritual nugget number 15. Your healing is your own. I want to speak today on the great capacity humans have for healing. I think that we're always doing some healing on some level of our life. And I am someone who has had a lot of opportunities for healing because I've been through a lot of things that were painful in my life. I've actually been through a major healing process of an emotional nature and also a major healing process of a purely physical nature. And I can say about healing that healing is pretty much all the same, no matter what level you're doing it on. I have found so many parallels between the work that I've done in my physical therapy to the work that I've done in my addiction recovery process. And I think the times that I have struggled the most with healing were the times that I was stuck on the idea that others were responsible for my pain. When I came into addiction recovery, I was a person who was incredibly wounded by others and felt I had absolutely no responsibility for the condition I was in. And the same thing goes for my back pain. When I came to physical therapy, I felt that I had a job that asked too much of my body and that I had injured myself through repeated motion. And what I learned in both cases was that I had been hurt, but that I had an absolute responsibility for my own healing. There is a short story in Cheryl Strayed's book, Tiny Beautiful Things, about when she worked as a school counselor. I don't think she was a school counselor, but she was like a school support person, and she would meet with a group of underprivileged girls who were from families that maybe they were low income. They were seen as being at risk for not completing high school. And she would meet with the girls, and she would hear stories about how they were abused at home and how they would not have enough food at home, or how they would be molested by their mother's boyfriends. And she was horrified by these stories, and she would contact child services and tell them the problems that she had with the girls, and child services would promise to follow up, and she would see that nothing was ever being done for these girls. And so one day she called and she got some particular person on the phone who was honest with her and said that if children were not in immediate danger, then there simply was not the budget within the state to deal with all of the kids that needed help. And so the next time one of the girls came to her and told her another horrible story, what she said to her was, "This is a horrible thing that's happening to you, and it's not okay, and it's illegal, and I'm going to report this horrible story." But what she didn't say this time was that it would stop, or that it would be taken care of, but that this little girl was going to have to find a way to be okay. She was going to have to find a way to escape or to transcend the situation. Otherwise, she would likely end up the way her mother was. And this sort of heartbreaking story really sums up my feeling about healing, which is that my higher power is always kind of saying to me, "Oh, honey, this stuff is not fair. This is not okay, but you're going to have to find a way to be okay with it." And almost always, when I've been able to get there, when I've been able to say, "This stuff is not my fault, but I'm responsible for it," That is the key to healing. Today, focus on an area of your life that you feel needs healing, and realize deeply that the universe knows that whatever happened to you was not your fault. Regardless of how deep your pain is, you can find healing at any time.